Continuing our live coverage of the upcoming arraignment of former President Donald Trump, we want to get to New York City right now to get a sense of what's happening on the ground.
Reporter Ayana Harry live outside of the courthouse. We just saw former President Trump enter the courthouse moments ago. Ayana, give us a sense of what's happening there. Earlier, we saw some skirmishes between people, but what is the scene there behind you?
Frank and Jessica, the protests have really settled down at this point. Everyone was focused on the front doors of this criminal courthouse, waiting to see which way President Donald Trump would walk inside. He did enter from a side entrance. He is inside the building right now, and here's what we expect. We expect him to first go to the Manhattan District Attorney's office. That's where he will be processed. He will be booked. He will be fingerprinted. Perhaps there will be a mugshot, and then the former president will go into a courtroom for his arraignment. I will set the scene for you, what's taking place on the 15th floor of this courthouse. There is a line of cameras, and it is expected that President Trump may stop and speak with those cameras, speak with some of those reporters. We know he's been quite vocal on Truth Social, saying this prosecution is all political. He goes in for the arraignment, hears the criminal charges. He may or may not enter the plea, and then he leaves. And, you know, Frank and Jessica, an arraignment here in Manhattan Criminal Court, these are usually pretty quick, about 15 or 20 minutes, and we expect this to be done expeditiously considering the high-profile nature of the person surrendering today, a former Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America.
Understand the geography here. The district attorney's office and the criminal courts building, is it all in this? It's all in the same block. Is it in the same building? So once he is told you are under arrest, I think we've lost Diana. Allison Treasel is here, so I can ask you, Allison. As I understand it, when the president presents himself, former president presents himself to the district attorney, at some point someone says to him, "You are under arrest." Is that right? And begins the booking process.
Right. I mean, it's actually NYPD that takes custody of him, not the district attorney's office. So it's NYPD, and then he is formally booked as a defendant, and he has normally his picture taken, and he is processed, and he is fingerprinted. This mugshot question will be obviously a very interesting one. Someone said to me about the mugshot that on one hand, it would be something that Donald Trump may blast everywhere to raise campaign funds, and then on the other hand, maybe the most expensive photograph ever taken, right? But what is so interesting is that his attorneys filed a written motion to oppose cameras in the courtroom. So he wants to speak, the former president wants to speak about what happened today, this evening, and that way they can better control the narrative than if everybody is watching the actual proceedings. But we all do have to be very careful as to what this judge is going to order, because normally you go in, you're released OR. There will not be a bail set in this case, but normally you released OR with certain restrictions.
Your own recognizance, right? OR?
Sorry, your own recognizance. There's no bail set, but normally they would have some kind of restrictions or conditions.
You can't get on a flight?
Right. So travel restrictions, which none of us think is going to happen. He's the most monitored and watched person in the world. There's no way he's going anywhere, right? The curfew is an imposition that is a condition that sometimes they said, I don't believe that will happen here. I think in New York, the law is the least restrictive conditions, and certainly here we won't see that, but we will see him enter a plea of not guilty. We will see them, they can waive reading of the rights and the charges, but normally a judge would read the charges aloud to the defendant and his counsel, explain the constitutional rights that he has. Here, his attorneys, and this is not uncommon, may say, we're going to waive the reading of the complaint, enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay. Would normally in this situation the defendant have a chance to speak to the judge, or not in something like that?
I have never I only do criminal. I would never let him speak. I mean,
Okay.
other than, do you understand? Yes.
Got it.
How do you plead? Not guilty. That's it.